Hello, this is Daniel Raymond, the voice behind Ray's Guide. My usual target for videos is 8 to 10 minutes, with 6 to 12 at the outliers. So I'm going to combine two subjects into this one. The first, because I don't have that much to say about it. The second, because it doesn't deserve to have that much more attention given to it over what it has already undeservedly gotten. So, 1. Inside Star Citizen on mining changes. In general, kudos to all these changes, and my only disappointment at the episode was there wasn't a word about either the Orion or the Expanse. Considering how long everything else about mining has been in the game, the fact that the Orion owners have been waiting for so long and don't even get a nod to their existence, it's really kind of cruel. My main thought about the segment was how it impacts what I've been saying about Hull C and cargo routes. What, you might say, this was an episode about mining. Yes, but it was also an episode about materials. What I've been saying about the Hull C is that its massive capacity and economies of scale, combined with the limited number of places that it could stop, that it would create a hub-and-spoke system of materials management through the Servers. Individual points of consumption and production would get materials to and from the big cargo platforms, and there would be large balancing shipments to manage excess inventory and shortages between those big cargo distribution centers, the thick yellow lines on this diagram, and the realm of the Hull Seas. Except as the way Stanton was created, we at first only had Crusaders' moons, so every point of supply had to have a corresponding point of demand within Crusaders' moons. As Stanton expanded to the other planets, new sources of supply and demand were added to the planets and moons without going back and recreating the whole table. Each of the subsequent planets therefore also had a balanced set of supply and demand for commodities. So there really isn't much need for anything to travel on those thick yellow lines. And if you're still doing trading, you will know that most of your routes are moon to planet and planet to moon. Now, with this rebalance of commodity locations, all this changes.
Have distinct locations now within Stanton. For example, aluminum you can only find around Crusader, where copper you can only find around Microtech.
So you now have things moving on the yellow routes. Using the example, the big Hull Seas carrying loads of aluminum from Orison to Port Tressler and returning laden with copper. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this little part of the changes wasn't driven by mining at all, but by the cargo missions. Now, part 2, Hacker Hysteria. When I first saw Avengers 1's video, I thought perhaps he was trying to prank the community, with these scraps of footage, a lot of it quite old, combined with mountains of QAnon-style innuendo and scary predictions of doom. But since everybody else is taking it seriously, I have to take it seriously too, at least for a few minutes. Because I don't know whether cheaters will be the end of Star Citizen, but I do know what will be a disaster, and that is that everyone, when they lose, goes around falsely accusing everybody else of being a hacker or a cheater. Because that will poison the community. And frankly, Avenger 1, from his personal experience, ought to know exactly how much poison it can be. So why is he going around with this insinuation that he really was justified in accusing people of cheating? And not only that, but in his conclusions say that we all have to go around accusing people of cheating in order to somehow save the game. So sure, if you see something suspicious, record, report, and let CIG do their job. Don't run around accusing people on YouTube or chat of being cheaters. That's not your job. That's not saving the game. It's poisoning the community. And carried too far, it's slander. So let's run down the list of the thing that you might want to jump to the conclusion was a hack and what it might actually be. 1. Exploits. Exploits are bugs. The user might have discovered the bug themselves or just learned it by following the issue counselor, and rather than just verify it, they decided, for whatever personal reason, that it might be fun to push it to the extreme. Using an exploit may be lame, and anything gained from it cheese, but it's not a cheat. It's a bug. Reading the issue counsel to find interesting bugs to take advantage of doesn't make you a hacker. And unless it's being used as targeted harassment, it is unlikely to be regarded as a bannable act. And if you are upset that CIG isn't behaving like a 5-alarm fire to get rid of what feels to you like a game-breaking bug, it's not. It's just a bug to CIG, and anything gained from it is going to be wiped anyway. And before you point out some screen clip and say, that can't be a bug, it can't. Anything can be a bug. Infinite ammo bugs, instant acceleration bugs, infinite shields bugs, they've all existed at one time or another. 2. Min-maxing. This is a balance problem that the user is taking advantage of in order to hyper-maximize earnings. The only difference between it and an exploit is that one needs a bug fix and the other a nerf. But there is nothing that characterizes it as a cheat, and certainly not a hack, although if amplified by gold farming, it can result in an apparent huge fortune, which, yes, is going to be wiped. So if somebody is throwing around UEC as if it was confetti, don't. Please don't use it as some sort of proof that's anything to accuse them of. 3. Glitchy servers. If Arthur C. Clarke can say that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, then I say that any sufficiently glitchy server is indistinguishable from a hack. Things appearing and disappearing? Check. Things appearing invulnerable? Check. All sorts of backlog damage arriving in an instant? Check. So you can say, look at that deceleration number. That can't be desync. Really? It can't? The server most likely is just sending the client position and vector information, and the client is inferring from it the necessary acceleration to accomplish that change from the last position and vector. Server sends glitchy position data, client interpolates massive acceleration necessary. Obviously, what you are seeing from a glitchy server isn't a hack or a cheat or a bannable offense, so don't go accusing folks as if you know. You don't. 4. Spoofed credentials. This one is serious. Every game has tools for developers and quality control to instantly go somewhere and set up situations and for testing. If someone had managed to give themselves such elevated authority, then yes, that is indeed a hack and a cheat, and banning them would most likely be the first action CIG would be justified in taking. But again, you would essentially be unable to tell the difference. Record, report, and let CIG do their job. 5. Cyberbros cosplaying hackers because it makes them feel cool or they enjoy jerking people around. Yes, I think this is that. Why? Because real hackers are on the dark web, not Discord. And all this shows is that somebody has learned the Windows tutorial about how to create a pop-up modal dialog functioning checkboxes to create a user interface prototype for their fantasy cheating tool. But you know what they didn't show? They didn't show any of those checkboxes actually doing they said they were going to do, but surrounded with a half hour of conspiratorial talk and patched up clips, and you might miss that detail. And the one thing that this supposed documentary didn't do is document. Close the loop, obtain the tool, and validate that it exists and functions. Document. 6. Actual hacks where the source code or data is altered. Every type of game, though, has its own architecture, and what is needed to hack one type of game may not work well with another, or work at all. MMOs have a particular challenge. You see, unlike other games, the server in a properly written MMO isn't just being the matchmaker, scorekeeper, and observer, like it is in a typical console or match-based multiplayer game. In a properly written MMO, the server is running the game. Sure, you can hack your client to tell the server that you have unlimited ammo, but the server is actually counting the bullets and will say, no, you don't. You can hack your client to tell the server you have infinite shields or unlimited acceleration, but unless the game is really badly written, the server is going to say, no, you don't. So, to really do a hack, a real, genuine hack, you would have to modify the code on the server, which means breaking AWS security. And good effing luck with that. You were supposed to think that these Discord-dwelling guys broke into AWS and only modified the files in one alpha game, modifications that would be overwritten in the next build cycle, only a matter of days likely, and the gains wiped very soon, when in fact they were inside Internet's Fort Knox if they were doing this. So yes, of course, take cheating seriously. Record and report and let CIG do their job. Don't, though, think that you have to become some sort of a caped crusader saving the game and, in the result, poisoning the community with wild and almost certainly wrong accusations of hacking and cheating. Now, for an update on our giveaways, we have 2 ship giveaways and 1 skill contest. The first is the 10,000 subscriber thank you for the LTI Hull C, the colossal cargo containing carrying craft, to be given away when the sea becomes flyable in the verse. And then there's the big giveaway for the winner's choice of either the Galaxy Complete, the massive modular mining moving medicine machine, or the brand new big box bargain bazaar, the Merchantman. 1 entry per video for both of those drawings. Just be a member and be entered automatically, or subscribe and comment with the secret word. And the secret word for this video is a classic science fiction writer that I quoted. Plus, we still have, perhaps for not very much longer, our Waiting for 3.18 Piloting Skills contest for the most amazing landing of a ship, Hercules size or larger. See the video in the description for that. Fly safe, keep it real, and I'll see you in the verse. This is Daniel Raymond for Ray's Guide.